Ben Affleck just gave a masterclass on the single biggest mistake high performers make when they look at AI. He argues that AI is useless for high-level work because mathematically it regresses to the mean. He says if you train a model on everything, you get an average of, well, everything, a solid C+ student. And if you're only looking at a base model like ChatGPT or Gemini, he's absolutely right. But here's what he and 90% of the business leaders we talk to are missing. You don't have to use the mean of the internet. You can rig the math. That's the whole game that takes AI from slop to top. Hi, if you're here for the first time, I'm Troy Malone, the founder of Relevant AI Lab. If you want to upgrade your team's AI skills with frameworks, training programs, and step-by-step systems, then join us today at relevantailab.com. Here's the reality. Ben Affleck is suffering from what I call the high performer blind spot. High performers look at a tool, they see it do something mediocre, and they assume the ceiling is mediocrity. They don't realize they're looking at a raw, uncalibrated engine. And at Relevant, we work with companies every day who make this exact same error. They play with a chatbot, get a generic answer, and simply walk away. Here's the shift we need to make. It comes down to one concept: fine-tuning. When Affleck says AI regresses to the mean, he assumes the data set is all human knowledge. When you average all human knowledge, yes, you get average results. But what happens when you restrict the data set to the most important people and accomplished people in the world? If you fine-tune that model exclusively on the scripts of the top 100 grossing films of all time, or the top 50 Oscar winners for best screenplay, suddenly the mean isn't average anymore. The mean of the top 1% is the top 1%. This is simple math. If I train a model on every sales call your company has ever made, the AI will sound like your average sales rep. It will stutter, it'll miss the close, it'll regress to the mean. But if I take the recordings of your top 3 performers, the ones who close at 50% of their deals, and I fine-tune a model only on their frameworks, their objection handling, and their emotional cadence, the AI doesn't drift to the middle, it drifts to the peak. Affleck misses this because he views emotional intelligence in movies as magic. But in data science, emotion is just a pattern. Structure is a pattern. Pacing is a pattern. Trauma is also just a pattern. If you isolate the patterns of your highest performers, you can fine-tune a model to replicate that magic at scale. We're seeing this right now. The companies that win aren't the ones using the biggest models. They're the ones building the sharpest, most exclusive data sets. That's what sets them apart. So the question isn't, is AI average? The question is your data average? Because if you feed it excellence, you get excellence back, period. If you found this valuable, please hit subscribe. I'd really appreciate that. We'll keep you ahead of all these massive shifts in AI so you don't get caught off guard as the world changes. Also, drop me a comment and tell me, do you think AI can learn the intuition of your best employee given enough data? My experience tells me abso-freaking-lutely.